You might think that a place known for its stunning landscapes, vast wilderness, and freezing temperatures would keep things simple, but oh no. Today we're about to dive into a world of bizarre, head-scratching laws, straight from the last frontier, Alaska. Alaska has some of the weirdest laws you've probably never heard of. And you'll want to stick around because some of these laws, they're downright wild. So pack your things and let's explore this together. First up, let's unravel a tale involving the most unexpected of Alaska's residents, the moose. These towering, majestic creatures wander Fairbanks like gentle giants, admired from afar. But what happens when humans, with their strange sense of humor, decide to test the limits? Back in 1972, the city of Fairbanks enacted a strict law, making it illegal to give alcohol to a moose. Someone in Fairbanks made the questionable decision to offer a moose a drink. And no, not water, alcohol. The result? Chaos. The once serene, lumbering beast turned into a disoriented, stumbling menace. It was like giving a toddler a sugar rush, but with antlers and hundreds of pounds of wild muscle. This wasn't just one odd event. Residents were keen on repeating this drunken moose escapade until it spiraled into a real problem. Fairbanks found itself dealing with tipsy moose running amok, terrifying drivers, wrecking gardens, and causing general mayhem. The authorities had seen enough. With their enormous size and unpredictable movements, an inebriated moose posed a significant threat to public safety. By ensuring these creatures stayed alcohol-free, Fairbanks managed to keep its streets and gardens a little safer. Now, in Anchorage, there's a law that prohibits tying a dog, or any pet for that matter, to the roof of your car while driving. The reasoning behind this law might seem obvious, but it stems from an incident in the 1960s that left locals and lawmakers stunned. Someone, in an attempt to make room inside their vehicle, thought it'd be a good idea to secure their dog to the roof for the drive. This led to a spectacle that caused more than just shock. It was dangerous for everyone on the road. Drivers, taken aback by the sight of a dog clinging to the roof of a speeding car, could easily lose focus or control of their own vehicles. And as anyone who's been to Anchorage in winter knows, losing control on those icy streets can lead to disaster. The law was swiftly enacted to stop such reckless behavior and to ensure that pets and the people sharing the road stayed safe. After all, a split-second distraction could cause a major accident, and no one wanted a repeat of that absurd yet perilous scene. In a place where safety often depends on the smallest decisions, this law became more than necessary. Over in Nome, a remote Alaskan city with a rich gold rush past, there's a strange yet chilling law that dates back to 1927. It's illegal to sleep in the streets. At first glance, this might seem like a typical city ordinance, but in Nome, it holds a far darker significance. Nome's winters are brutally unforgiving, with temperatures that can drop to deadly lows. During the height of the gold rush, many fortune seekers pushed themselves to the brink, driven by the dream of striking it rich. After hours of grueling labor in the frozen permafrost or trekking across the endless tundra, exhaustion would often take over. Miners, too tired to make it to shelter, would collapse in the streets, where they were sometimes found the next morning, frozen solid. The city council, horrified by the growing number of frozen bodies, enacted the law not as a punishment, but as a desperate measure to save lives. The Alaskan wilderness shows no mercy to those who aren't prepared for its icy grip, and falling asleep outdoors could turn deadly in the blink of an eye. Even today, while this law might seem like a strange relic, it serves as a reminder: Nome's streets are no place for sleep. Next, let's turn our attention to an even quirkier law involving flamingos. In Juneau, it is illegal to bring flamingos into barbershops. As odd as this sounds, the law didn't come out of nowhere. Back in the 1980s, a strange trend took over the city, where pranksters thought it would be hilarious to waltz into barbershops with flamingos in tow. Yes, you heard that right, flamingos. These tropical birds are obviously not native to Alaska, yet somehow, they found their way into the hands of locals who were all too eager to use them for some feathery chaos. Barbershop chairs would spin, feathers would fly, and customers left with more than just a bad haircut. The situation got so out of hand that Juneau's city council had to intervene. They passed this oddly specific law, not just to save the flamingos from the cold, but also to bring peace back to barbershops. So if you're ever in Juneau and feel like pulling a prank, better leave your flamingo at home. No one's looking to get a trim in the middle of a bird brawl after all. Alaska's animal laws are known for their strangeness, but this one from Haines might just top them all. In the midst of Alaska's rugged, untamed beauty, where bush plains soar across the open skies and isolation is the norm, something truly bizarre happened. Back in the 1940s, a law was passed in Haines after a mind-boggling incident involving a penguin. Yes, you read that right, a penguin. Someone actually thought it was a good idea to toss one of these poor, flightless creatures out of a moving plane. The shocking event left the locals in disbelief, staring up at the sky, horrified at what they were witnessing. This wasn't just a tasteless prank, it was outright cruelty, and it sent ripples through the community. How could something so absurd even happen? It became clear that laws were needed to prevent such reckless behavior from happening again. So the lawmakers swiftly took action, banning anyone from ever hurling penguins, or any other animals, from planes. The skies over Haines are now safe from such airborne madness, and penguins, while rare in Alaska, are protected from the dangers of becoming an unwilling participant in aerial mischief. Up next, we've got a law that will make you rethink how you interact with wildlife. In Talkeetna, Alaska, there's a strict rule. You cannot wake up a sleeping moose for personal amusement. Yes, you read that correctly. It's illegal to disturb these massive creatures while they're catching some Z's. This law didn't come out of nowhere. It was passed in the 1970s after a string of incidents where overzealous tourists, in search of a thrill, thought it would be a good idea to wake up a dozing moose. What started as a misguided attempt to get closer to Alaskan wildlife quickly turned into chaos. Moose are huge, unpredictable animals, and waking one can lead to serious injury, or worse. These creatures are protective and, when startled, can charge at alarming speeds. The law wasn't just made to keep tourists from annoying the moose. It was enacted to prevent any more dangerous encounters that could end in disaster. So next time you stroll through Talkeetna and spot a slumbering moose, remember, let sleeping moose lie. Your safety and possibly your dignity depends on it. Let's end with what might be the strangest law in Alaska. One that might just make you reconsider your next snowman masterpiece. In the quiet, snow-blanketed town of Nome, there exists a law that forbids the creation of a snowman taller than the average person. Yes, you heard that right. No snowman over 6 feet. The origins of this frosty regulation trace back to the winter of 1999, when Nome decided to host a friendly snowman building competition. It started off as innocent fun, but as the competitive spirit surged, residents took things to the extreme. Snowmen began to tower over rooftops, their towering silhouettes looming over homes and streets, some standing so tall they cast eerie shadows during Nome's long winter nights. But the real trouble started when these gigantic snowmen began to crumble. As temperatures fluctuated, these icy giants became unstable, sending huge chunks of snow crashing down on cars, sidewalks, and even houses. It wasn't long before the city realized they had to step in. The tipping point came when one snowman, towering at over 15 feet, collapsed onto a parked car, causing serious damage. To prevent further chaos, the local government swiftly enacted a law. Snowmen must not exceed 6 feet in height. So, in Nome, if you're feeling creative during snow season, keep your snow sculptures to a respectable size, unless you want an avalanche of trouble. Did you know about these weird laws in Alaska? From drunk moose to outlawed flamingos, Alaska sure knows how to keep things interesting. Have you heard of any other strange laws up there? Or perhaps some quirky laws from your own state? Share them with us in the comments below. And as always, please like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, remember the law and remember where you are.